ahead. The lack of consistency is what really doomed him because, and for the most part, injuries played a part into this. He got consistent minutes night in, night out. The least amount of minutes he played in a game was 10. And so he got constant court time, and it just never manufactured in him being productive enough to really warrant his playing time. I mean, he only scored in double figures 1, 2, 3, 4 times. You know, it's maybe we expected too much out of him like we did with Keeling, but everything we got told coming out was he's a versatile scorer. He can put the ball in the bucket. We saw that against UNC Wilmington in a variety of ways, and it just never manufactured into consistent success. I agree with you. If he would have been in the same situation that he would have had 2 years to play for Carolina and to adjust to the ACC competition, maybe the second year is a little bit different. It's kind of hard for me to say that with a lot of confidence. I refer to him as a wounded bird on the podcast after the loss to Georgia Tech, where his play, along with the play of pretty much the entire team outside of Garrison Brooks, infuriated me to no end. And, you know, we've talked a lot about a forgotten season. Justin Pierce, outside of you, me, and the guys that cover the team and religiously follow Carolina basketball, he'll be a forgotten player in a season that no one will ever want to talk about again. His final stats from his 1 year in Chapel Hill: 5 points, 4 rebounds, 37% from the field, 23% from three, 54% from the foul line. Those numbers right there sum up what was a very rough year for him in his one spot in Chapel Hill. And so is there anything else you want to get off your chest about Justin Pierce's one season for Carolina?
Well, I know you said that maybe we expected a little bit too much from him. This was still a guy that averaged over 14 points per game in back-to-back years before coming to Carolina. So there was reason why we thought this guy was going to end up being a guy that could score the ball at least at a decent rate for Carolina. So I don't think that we're in the wrong there for thinking in the preseason this is a guy that can help us scoring the basketball in the offensive end. Same thing with Keelan. Came in as a guy that was decorated at Charleston Southern, but maybe that's just what we just expected. Maybe you're right. Maybe we did expect way too much out of mid-major guys. But I honestly think that if you score at that type of level, you would expect that both of those guys would have had at least a little bit more success. Just because, I mean, if you're that good of a scorer, it shouldn't disappear no matter what level you move up to. So, but yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it. And now we'll end up moving on. We got a packed recruiting class coming in, and you know that you would feel like there's definitely a talent upgrade from what we had on the team this past year.
Yeah, and really quick, this kind of popped into my head as you were talking. I asked Brendan Marks about this because Carolina last year was very active in the transfer portal with mid-major guys. And I asked him back when I spoke with him, well, do you see a situation where that becomes the norm? Carolina checked in on maybe one or two guys that entered the transfer portal from the mid-major level, and those were more of the highly touted grad transfers. I don't think it's no mistake because they're bringing in such a loaded recruiting class. I think it's something that Roy Williams and the staff learned. You're asking way too much from a guy from the CAA to come and play in the ACC in 1 year and be a big-time player. Cam Johnson was recruited to an ACC school. He was a guy who scored 24 points on Carolina in the Smith Center for Pittsburgh. So you saw firsthand he had capability. I don't think you're going to see Carolina be as active moving forward trying to get those players because the results that they wanted just didn't come through. So, like you said, bringing in a loaded recruiting class, there's going to be an influx of talent to Carolina is why we're all somewhat very excited for the 2020-21 season. With that, we're going to go ahead and shut this podcast down. Before we let you go, talk to you about our website, HeelToughBlog.com. It's been a busy couple days for us. While the sports world as a whole has been very quiet, it hasn't been very quiet in Tar Heel land. Both Carolina football and basketball have gotten major recruits. Anthony breaks down the football commits. I break down the basketball commits. You can find all that out on HeelToughBlog.com. In addition to that, Cole Anthony announced his decision to leave Carolina and enter the NBA draft. I wrote about that and what it means for Cole Anthony as he heads into the NBA. I also wrote about the future of the point guard position. You can find that article out on HeelToughBlog.com. And lastly, we encourage you guys to subscribe to the website wherever you're listening from. You can find us on every major podcasting platform, most notably Spreaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, TuneIn. Give us a like, give us a review, and most importantly, we encourage you guys to subscribe. We're in the off season, but right now we're doing episodes about once or twice a week. If you subscribe, you'll get it right into your player feed the second we upload a new episode. Well, with that, I want to thank Anthony for taking some time to come on, talk a little Carolina basketball. We encourage you guys to stay strong, stay healthy, and as always, go Tar Heels.